Hello artists, today I'm going to show you how to draw a bird's eye view of a city in a 1-point perspective. And I found this is a copy I found online actually of a drawing. I'm pretty sure it's from this fabulous book that I will cite as soon as I can get back in school, but I can't right now, so I don't know the person who wrote it. But it's a great layout of all different ways you can draw buildings and make it look like you're looking down from above. And your 1-point perspective, remember the vanishing point is from our last video, vanishing point, bing, it's that point off in the distance where things get so small they'd vanish. It's actually on the ground when you're in this bird's eye view. So instead of drawing things this way from the side this time, we're going to be drawing it from the top. But just like before, you draw the side of the object and then have it go off into space. So to create a drawing like that, what I'm going to be doing first is right in the center, I'm going to make my vanishing point. And that's where all these buildings are going to go to. And then, just like before, I'm going to draw these squares and circles as if they're the tops of the building. So I'm going to start with, just like before, making the edge of my ruler flush with the edge of my paper. And I'm just going to draw some rectangles as if these are the tops of the buildings. And the cool thing about doing things like this is I can actually make the buildings like interact with each other. So maybe I'm going to do one, let's go up here so we have a little more space away from the vanishing point. You can see the details a little more. Maybe I'll do one, and again, I like to always keep the edge of my ruler even with the edge of my paper so that I can make sure it's straight, which then of course I didn't do. But I could do things like give the buildings like an L shape, as buildings often do, you know, give them something a little different. Maybe I'll bring this, I want to go a little bit further down. So I have these lines. Now I want to make sure everything on these top buildings is vertical and horizontal. And again, I could do circular buildings too. Let's go this way with my tape. We'll put one of those over here. It's not my best tracing. Gotta kind of circle around in there. Remember, an eraser is a good friend to have when you're perspective drawing. And then let's see what else. I talked about buildings interacting, so maybe I make one that's gonna fit right in here, as this is here. And I would continue to draw all of these buildings. Let's make that edge of my paper straight so I know my buildings are straight. I would continue to draw these shapes, squares, all the way around, leaving a little space toward my vanishing point so I can have some more details in there. So to give you this kind of gives you the idea. Maybe I'll do one more down below just so we get the idea there, but I don't want to take too much time. So look, this is a great rectangular shape because it's the width of my ruler. Done, nice and easy. All right, so I got some buildings. Now I need to make those buildings go to the vanishing point. So I start from the corners and the vanishing point works like a pivot. So I start at that corner and I go shoo, and I make them all go to the vanishing point, every corner. Now, this corner do I do? No, because if it goes through the building, I wouldn't see it. That edge is there, but I can't see it because the building is a solid object. It's not gonna be a transparent object. Now with the circle, remember, I don't really have a definite corner, so I'm looking for that point right there, where the edge of the ruler touches the edge of the circle. So right about there. And then that's going to act like my circle. Now here, this is going to go through this building, so it stops when it hits that building. Same thing for this one. Make sure that I have the vanishing point. It's really easy to use your vanishing point as a pivot and then realize you're no longer on your vanishing point. So again, that one stops because those buildings, remember I said they're going to kind of interact. So I draw my rectangles first. You can always go back in and add more rectangles. This one looks like I won't even see because it's so close to the vanishing point, the way it lines up. And then I tend to do a bunch, and you can always go back and draw more, like I said. Sorry, hard to draw and speak sometimes. But it also allows me to just get all those angles in. And I might say, you know what, I really need one more over here, or I want to do a few more here. This is not many. This is not really a city block at this point. It's a few buildings, but I think you'll get the idea. Now, if I'm going to have things go to the vanishing point, anything that is parallel to the top edge of the roof stays parallel. Anything that goes back into space, the depth pieces, go to the vanishing point. So now I might do something like go up here and every 1/4 inch make a little teeny mark. But that's too many marks. You're going to get the idea without that many marks. quarter inch. That's an eighth of an inch. I know how to measure. Quarter inch is what I wanted. So I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna take that and again, use my vanishing point like my pivot. Go like so. There we go. And then I can get rid of these tiny little lines. You could do tinier dashes. You don't have to worry about erasing them later. And then maybe I do some details on the roof. I could do like this. Now, you need to also decide on the style of your drawing. If your drawing is going to be very clean lined, do all those lines with a ruler. If you're gonna start to make it sketchy, then you don't have to. So I could do this. Maybe there's some sort of like air conditioning units or something on the roof. Maybe I could draw that a little better. Maybe there's something, I don't know. I don't know what these things are really. Maybe there's some sort of box. There's something. There you go. I could draw things on the roof. I could just make it like gravelly, but details like that. So now for the horizontal part of the windows, they are going back to the vanishing point. And as they get closer to the vanishing point, they're going to get closer and closer together. So my lines need to start to get closer and closer together so that my illusion of going deep into space works. So you can see how I've left a little more space between these lines here and they get closer and closer here. I'm not gonna do one more. I'm gonna erase here then at the very bottom and make that the bottom of my building. So you see, oh, there's the building. Now I can also do things like add texture and shading for my details. Maybe I do things, you know, like this. But if I want to, right now, I'm not going to add too much detail here because I want to see those lines. Maybe on the next one, maybe I go here. I'm going to, and I'm still, I'm going to go like this. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make it edge of my paper and make this the bottom of my building. So I don't have to worry about that. And now I'm going to make these lines a little darker. I'm going to go 1/4 of an inch again. This time I'm going to measure 1/4 of an inch correctly. See, we all make mistakes. Just you figure it out. It makes it better. I'm going to draw these lines in, but this time, as I do it, I'm going to go darker so that I can add some shading to it. And I know where I need to stop because I added the bottom edge of the building the first time. And that's important because you don't want to have all these lines that like, wait, do I erase these? Do I erase these? And then as I come down, I'm gonna flip this. It's easier for me to see what I'm doing that way. As I could draw these, maybe now for this windows, I'm gonna make like a thicker edge. I'm gonna have a thicker one and then a thinner one. So I'm playing with my window distances, and then maybe there's this secret and this, not much because I'm close to the bottom, so that I can do, and maybe I just leave it like that, or I can add a little bit of shading in here. So you can play with your windows, like get the hang of it first, and then play with the windows to create different design looks on your buildings. Again, I do something with my roof. I'm not going to do it there. Now, for your circular buildings, like so, they're a little tougher because the goal is anything that stays like anything that's parallel to an edge has to stay parallel to those edges. But here, my edge is curved. So now I got to really kind of carefully make my window lines, or maybe this is each a floor of the building. I got to try and make them echo that curve. So, you know, maybe then on top here, I have these, draw this edge in. This is not my best drawing. And I can still do these lines to get vertical windows. Those would still stay vertical, like so. But these are the ones that need to curve with it. Maybe this one. Ooh, I know. I'm going to make this a swimming pool. It's a swimming pool. See? Woo! I don't know if you can really tell that. There. You can't. You can't. It's a swimming pool. Maybe there's a person swimming in there. Oh, he's swimming. That's not working either. Just trying to, you know, try something. And then, so down here, I would erase this. And then when I'm all done with getting all the details and things drawn in, I could leave this here, and maybe this is like a park, but you can start to add streets coming around and through your buildings. Maybe this is a more busy street. This one curves with this. You could curve behind this building. You can add different values to the streets, make them darker, lighter. Maybe there's a street this way, and just start to put these in. And it's a little hard to see because my printer is running out of ink, of course, while I'm at home trying to make things work during COVID. Stay at home. Nothing's right there, right? Oh, look, it's the bushes. It's a park. So you can make the streets move around. You can add other details. There are little bushes and things from the top. But you would just continue to develop this until you get the details and it looks like maybe it's this dystopian staring down at the city and watching you all. I don't know what it is. You decide. You have the imagination. You decide the details and you know how it goes. You are the artiste. So that is a brief explanation for drawing a bird's eye view of a city in 1 point perspective. Voila.